المدارس والكليات الإسلامية في أستراليا التي تشرف دينياً عليها دار الفتوى المجلس الإسلامي الأعلى في أستراليا، إضافة إلى ما فيها من العلوم النافعة العصرية التي يحتاج إليها المجتمع. في الحقيقة أضحت هذه المدارس نبراساً وهاجاً وبدراً وضاءً تضيء الطريق إلى معرفة الحق المبين وإلى نبذ الغلو في الدين. بسبب هذا الأساس المتين استطاعت هذه المدارس الاستمرار بالتعليم بما يناسب أثناء أزمة كورونا وستستمر بعد كورونا، وواجهت وستواجه هذا التحدي الصعب بإكمال المقررات الدراسية والمناهج التربوية وفق تعليم وزارة التربية الأسترالية ووزارة الصحة وقرارات حكومة الولايات. لذلك أنا أغتنم هذا اللقاء الذي جمع العديد من المثقفين.
President, World Muslim Communities Council, Dr. Muhammad Al-Bashari, Vice President and Secretary General, World Muslim Communities Council, Dr. Sheikh Salim Alwan Al-Hussaini, Chairman, Darul Fatwa Australia, leaders of Islamic schools, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Over the past 4 months, we have seen schools that have been trying to bring a digital transformation for 2 or 3 years get up and running with online remote teaching and learning within weeks. Although this revolution has happened out of necessity, returning to teaching and learning as we knew it before COVID is unrealistic. There are so many articles written about how education will change post-COVID, but I believe there is really no such thing as post-COVID. Instead, we are moving into a phase that we are calling COVID normal. If COVID was the reason schools had to transform, then COVID normal will be the reason they had to keep some of the changes made, at least until the virus can be prevented, cured, or eradicated. What does that actually mean for schools? High-risk students and teachers, or those living with high-risk individuals, will still not be able to attend school. Students or staff who are even slightly unwell will not be welcome at school. If there is a suspected coronavirus case in the school community, there may be an entire class or cohort or the whole school may need to quarantine for 2 weeks. So how do you deliver a hybrid model, a full service learning experience with some students online and others in the classroom? What about teachers at home who are quarantined but not sick and can still effectively work? The simple answer is that school needs to leverage the best of their online learning solutions and continue to maintain a system of teaching and learning so that all students receive and all teachers can deliver an engaging learning experience no matter whether they are at home or school. COVID normal requires schools to be able to blend online learning with classroom learning and move seamlessly between the two. The fact is, it is each institution's unique data that will help them start to create their customized solution to the new educational reality. It cannot be a copy-paste solution. The circumstances have overcome the fear of failing, and as a result, new practices, new pedagogies, and new ways of collaborating and mentoring have emerged. So how do we blend the best of practices and take what we have learned from a difficult situation? I would like to present how we have supported our schools in Australia in these circumstances. We have been able to identify the systems which supported the great new practice, which schools will seek to build from. We did this by establishing a baseline of evidence, and because of this, our schools are moving into COVID normal, confident in their plans. I would like to provide some advice to schools who aim to continue utilizing video conferencing in the facilitation of learning programs. Video conferencing platforms have become a new norm in schools now. Yet this fast transition quickly brought digital security and privacy into the spotlight. Regardless of which video conferencing platform a school adopted, there continues to be important considerations that would be addressed to ensure school policies and processes remain fit for purpose in remote learning environments, as well as secure and safe use of video conferencing features and tools. The 3 main video conferencing platforms that continue to be used or considered in schools are Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Google Meet. You need to ensure schools deliver teaching programs in a safe and secure digital environment when choosing an appropriate video conferencing platform. Thank you, one and all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I must say you are on time, Dr. Khan. The takeaway points from Dr. Khan, thank you very much for your short speech, but very efficient. The takeaway point is that there's COVID normal. We need to move into online face-to-face hybrid model. It's got to be contextual. It's got to be on we got to form a baseline evidence approach to the new curriculum, and we have to keep in mind safety policy and procedures. Thank you very much, Dr. Khan. Points well taken. We move next to الأستاذ سام بوسو مفتش التعليم بوزارة التربية والتعليم في السنغال. أستاذ سام بوسو هل أنت معنا؟ أستاذ سام بوسو.
Mr. Sambusu, are you with us?
مفتش التعليم بوزارة التربية والتعليم السنغال.
Inspector of
الأستاذ سام بوسو. طيب ننتقل الآن إلى الشيخ محمد مهدي الأزهري. الشيخ محمد مهدي الأزهري من مدرسة الهدى في مدينة ويربي في فيكتوريا ملبون في أستراليا، وهو من الجالية الهررية. الشيخ محمد مهدي، أنت معنا شيخ محمد، تفضل. الوقت الآن 47 دقيقة.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. بعد الدكتور علي بن راشد النعيمي الأمين العام للمجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة، الدكتور محمد بشاري نائب الأمين العام السكرتير العام للمجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة، الدكتور الشيخ سليم علوان الحسيني الأمين العام لدار الفتوى في أستراليا، المجلس الإسلامي الأعلى في أستراليا. أشكركم على هذه الاستضافة الطيبة، وأحمد الله تعالى أن يسر لنا هذا البرنامج.
granted us the opportunity to communicate via this online platform to see those prominent scholars. This is something that really pleases us because we know that there are very good intentions in this regard, and that
ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام, Brother Osman. Very important points. I will leave now the space to a brother and a friend and a principal, fellow principal of mine, أستاذ أيمن علوان من كلية الأمانة الإسلامية ليفربول. أستاذ أيمن تفضل, بارك الله فيك.
Please, Mr. Ayman, the floor is yours.
أستاذ أيمن.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, Brother Islam. Thank you.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد رسول الله. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the organizers, the World Muslim Communities Council and Dar al-Fatwa Islamic High Council, in particular Dr. Ali Rashid al-Nuaimi and Dr. Muhammad al-Bishari, Dr. Sheikh Salim Alwan al-Husseini. May Allah reward you all for your efforts. This is very important that we all come together from different countries, different experiences, from different backgrounds. We come and share this important experience to talk about how we can serve the Muslim community better. Now, of course, the pandemic has put us all on the spot. We all have faced the challenges, many challenges. We all have responded to it in different ways. And we all remember the main and the most important reason why we come together and come to a Muslim school and teach at a Muslim, basically to educate the children and provide them with the best Islamic and teaching environment. Alhamdulillah, Al-Amana College has been working for above 20 years in serving the Muslim community in Sydney, operating from 2 campuses. It is considered a major institution catering for the cultural need of the Muslim community and a school that offers a diverse bilingual teaching curriculum. For this reason, the college has become an attraction to parents who see in it a bright and distinguished future for their children. Alhamdulillah, I have been serving this community for over 20 years now. Alhamdulillah, I've been in the educational sector for over 20 years. The 2020, in particular, this school year has brought many challenges to us, and not just to Al-Amana College. It has brought many challenges to many schools in New South Wales. The year started with bushfires, floods, and then you have the coronavirus, the COVID-19, the virus. It has really had a very negative impact on the schools and community in general. However, as school leaders and teachers, we have worked together and put plans in order to achieve our goal. Now, it has been a very challenging experience. We had to make a lot of changes, a lot of policies. We had to apply a lot of, based on the New South Wales Health Advice and the New South Wales Department. They have given us a lot of advice, and we had to implement many policies and strategies. Alhamdulillah, our board, the staff, the community, the response that we had towards the COVID-19 was very prompt, and it was best suited to the community in general, alhamdulillah. Now, of course, we go back to the school's vision. The first and the most important thing is for us is to make sure that we responded to the safety, the needs, and the well-being of the students, teachers, and parents during this pandemic. The school have been promoting for quite some time digital learning. So we have been training the teachers, we have been training the students, to use different platforms such as ClassDojo, Moodle, and Microsoft Teams way before the pandemic. That's why this was a very positive thing in our community. The teachers, the students did not find that part very difficult. Of course, there were other challenges, but in terms of using the technologies, because they have been trained, alhamdulillah, it wasn't, it didn't have a very bad effect on us. However, we all need to admit that the COVID-19 acted as a catalyst to shift the mindset towards an agile working environment. It has increased the level of flexibility and ability to adapt to different working environments. It has also enhanced the staff's and students' technological skills. The school has found exponential growth in teachers' skills and ability to deliver the curriculum in a variety of modes. One very important aspect that we focused on was the students' well-being. We had our committee, the welfare committee, religion teachers were in regular contact with the students in order to
We're running out of time, Mr. Alwan.
I'll try to finish in just give me a few seconds.
I'm sorry, we're running out of time.
I just want to also acknowledge the work of the religion department. Yes, brother, Mr. Jihadi, Mr. Dana, even brother Osman mentioned something very important about the face-to-face teaching. Nothing replaces face-to-face teaching, but alhamdulillah, our religion department were able to deliver the content in the most suitable way. We actually recorded Islamic studies lessons, Quranic Islamic studies lessons, Quranic recitation classes also were held live with the students. Now, one also very important aspect of this whole process was to always ask the community and ask them for feedback. And we had, held several surveys. This helped us to improve our services. This helped us to listen to their views and also to make sure, alhamdulillah, we provide the best service we can. Now,
thank you, Mr. Alwan.
The school's decision is to continue evaluating, and inshallah ta'ala, our focus will always continue to keep going post the COVID-19. Thank you very much. Sorry I took a little more time. May Allah reward you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience.
Thank you, Mr. Alwan. I just don't want anyone to think that I'm being biased toward the Australians and giving them more time.
You have to do your job, brother. May Allah reward you.
Barakallahu feek.
Wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. I move now very quickly to Ustad Hani Bakir, the مدير المدرسة الأرجنتينية العربية الإسلامية عمر بن الخطاب. أستاذ هاني أنت معنا؟ أستاذ هاني البكير.
Mr. Hani Bakir, are you with us?
أستاذ هاني بكير أنت معنا؟ لعله يعود لنا. الأستاذ موبينو سيدي، مسؤول تعليمي ومدرس في غينا، في غينا بيساوا. الأستاذ موبينو سيدي.
Please, the floor is yours. Peace be with all of you.
تفضل. وعليكم السلام.
Please go ahead. Thank you. First, I'd like to express my gratitude to the officials of the World Muslim Communities Council. First, I'm not in charge of Islamic education in Guinea. I'm just a school official. The Islamic education system at my country has to do with the level of the so-called community schools, community Islamic schools. The government does not really fund such schools. I am responsible for education in a specific scope. Yet, I am for boosting and enhancing the role of Islamic education in the country. I'll move on directly to the questions. First, we don't have executable curricula. We don't have executable curricula in Guinea-Bissau. So the time duration, the National Education for Developing Education in Guinea-Bissau, the number of the endeavors to engage or to integrate Islamic education at schools in order to study and provide the curricula and print them. This will take around 5 years to prepare and print the curricula. So I believe that this is a very extended period of time. If we have the proper funding and the proper utilities, that will be great. What has boosted the role of this establishment, the National Institute for Developing Education in Guinea-Bissau, they put around 5 million for this funding. Whether in euro or in USD, we will send you a detailed email about that, God willing. Who will conduct this mission actually? These will be government entities which are managing curricula and training teachers, and the Ministry of Education and the community establishments, all the Islamic establishments here, which are focusing on boosting Islamic education in the country. They are shouldering this task. So, with regards to all the challenges and the technological challenges that we have in Guinea-Bissau, my country, we don't have the infrastructure to serve that for all learners. It's almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. So in Guinea-Bissau, even government schools were suspended in this regard. So for 3 or 4 months, or almost 4 months now, there is no studies at all. In a few months, we'll start the new school year. So the infrastructure for accommodating technology is non-existent, whether to teachers or to learners, and even the schools and so on. I'm telling you, even the government itself does not have this kind of infrastructure. So there is no equitable accessibility to everyone, of course. This is really out of scope. So we can conduct distance learning if we have the funding. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's nothing impossible in our work, but this is as far as technology is concerned, it does not exist and almost non-existent. So as highlighted by our colleague from that speaking from Europe, is saying that we need collaboration and we need cooperation from the organization in Europe and Africa to develop this.
نعم أستاذ مبيدو ينتهي عندنا الوقت يعني نخرج عن الوقت لو تختم كلمة صغيرة.
Please conclude your speech. No, just like to thank you for hosting me. I'd like to thank the professors and the doctors and the sheikhs. Thank you. God bless all of you. And you got my message.
إن شاء الله ننتظر منك الرسالة بهذا التفصيل أنت والإخوة الذين تكلموا قبلك. الآن ننتقل فورا للجلسة الثالثة. وأقول لكم إلى الآن تأخرنا يعني الآن الوقت حصل تأخير عندنا. إن شاء الله نحاول أن نجبر هذا التأخير. في المحور الثالث سيكون هناك نقاش عن تحفيز المؤسسات الوقتية والخيرية لتساهم في تطوير التعليم ومنظومات القيم والأخلاقيات الموجودة في الواقع. نبدأ مع الدكتور أبو بكر أبي السرور. الرجاء من الجميع أن يطفئوا الميكروفونات إلا للمتكلم ويذكر الجميع الالتزام بقاعدة الدقائق 3 وأن يرسلوا لنا التفصيل الكامل عن كلماتهم إلى المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة The World Muslims Communities Council. فتفضل دكتور أبو بكر أبي السرور مدير أكاديمية ابن خلدون في واشنطن. أنت معنا دكتور أبو بكر؟
Please, Dr. Abu Bakr, are you with us?
السلام عليكم.
Peace be with you.
تفضل. لو البعض يطفئ الميكروفون. أستاذ محمد الدنا لو يطفئ الميكروفون. دكتور أبو بكر
السلام عليكم. تسمعوني يا أخي؟ أنا بسمعك يا أخي.
Yes, I can hear you.
أنا أسمعك واضح ما شاء الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا للمجتمع. شكرا للمجتمع المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة على هذا البرنامج القيم وشكرا على الدعوة وتحياتي لكم جميعا من واشنطن. لنكون واقعيين أخواني أحباب. نحن نتكلم على المدارس الإسلامية لكن بمعنى أننا إذا تكلمنا عن المدارس الإسلامية نحن نتكلم على أبناء المسلمين لكن الأغلبية الساحقة في أبناء المسلمين لا يدرسون بالمدارس الإسلامية لأن التكلفة عادة ما تكون عالية جدا بالأخص أن الأبناء يدفعون على تكلفة حتى المواد العلمية التي بإمكانهم أن يدرسوها في المدارس العمومية. فلهذا أنا أظن أن التركيز يجب أن يكون على مدارس الويكند سكول نهاية الأسبوع لأن التكلفة تكون فيها أقل وعدد التلاميذ يكون فيها أكثر. لو أخذنا مثال منطقة واشنطن توجد مدرستين تابعتين لمسجدين إنما المستوى التعليمي فيها ضعيف جدا بمعنى أن التلاميذ لما يذهبون للجامعة يجدون مشاكل. مدرسة واحدة هي التي مستواها جيد مدرسة إسلامية بدون أن أذكر اسمها لكن تكلفتها $1000 في الشهر وهذا يصعب جدا على الآباء أن يأخذوا أبنائهم لهذه المدارس. فلهذا أظن أن المدارس نهاية الأسبوع من المشاكل التي تعاني منها هي المناهج المختلفة وتكون هناك ارتجالية ولهذا من هذا المنطلق أسسنا أكاديمية ابن خلدون سنة 2008 والتحق بنا والحمد لله خلال السنة الأولى ما بين 100 إلى 200 تلميذ من 32 دولة فهي عبارة عن 4 ساعات في الأسبوع، ساعتين عربية، ساعة تربية إسلامية وساعة قرآن. المناهج لازم أن تكون موحدة من طرف مؤسسات تعليمية إسلامية
The curricula have to be unified by Islamic establishments, so we would have easy and accurate assessment. Moreover, teachers need to be trained properly. Distance learning, the COVID-19 impact showed that this is possible. We have obtained experience, corrected our mistakes, and teachers have received the training, and the cost is much less. We at Ibn Khaldun Academy are about to establish a YouTube channel where we will have YouTube tutorials. We will have tutorials on YouTube about fiqh, hadith, and tafsir, which will be taught by outstanding students. Those videos will be in Arabic and in English. And in this regard, we have the role of waqf and charitable establishments and NGOs. This is a very important role to boost those entities and support them. Otherwise, many of the students' children will be lost.
دكتور أشكرك حقيقة بارك الله فيك. يعني تكلمت في أمور مهمة جدا. أرجو منك هذا التفصيل وبالتفصيل الممل أن ترسل لنا هذه المعلومات القيمة عن هذه الشانلز حتى نستفيد ونجمع ونقوم بالcollaboration and cooperation and then we can sit down and plan and then do the analysis and come up with should benefit everyone. فأشكرك.
I will be very happy to do so.
I will be very happy to do so. Thank you very much. Thank you.
بارك الله فيك يا دكتور. الآن ننتقل للدكتور خالد ياسين المدرسة التعليمية بالمركز الثقافي بزايرب بكرواتيا. أستاذ خالد ياسين أنت معنا؟
أستاذ خالد ياسين are you with us? Yes, yes. I'm here. Peace be with you. Yes.
3 دقائق تفضل.
Please go ahead. Consider me from Australia.
وصلت نعم.
We got the message, my dear brother. I have a quick comment about the topic: challenges facing education in Islamic schools, primary and high school in the wake of COVID-19. We are in the COVID-19 pandemic. What will happen after COVID-19 is something different. Now we are at the peak of COVID-19 pandemic. As for Croatia, what really makes Croatia stand out from other countries is that the Islamic religion in Croatia is an acknowledged religion since the year 1916. That is why religious education in government schools is official. It is selective. Students can select it. Muslim students can select it just like any other student. Other than that, religious education, as I mentioned, it's religious education. 1 week we have 2 hours every week for religious education. Other than that, we have Islamic centers and mosques which provide Islamic education. It is acknowledged as well. If it's not at schools, it's available at mosques and Islamic centers. Other than that, please allow me to mix all of those topics because actually motivation, especially with regards to curricula, the curricula that we have in Croatia are acknowledged and approved by the Ministry of Education. They are introduced by specialists, Muslim specialists, and according to the criteria and to the criteria prepared by the Ministry of Education, of course, and there is full freedom to prepare this program for Muslims, and nobody intervenes with it, nobody interferes with it. Now we are about to prepare 12 books for the 12 grades, and God willing, we will complete this task by the next week, sorry, by the next month, before the beginning of the new school year. Because of the pandemic, schools have been suspended. Yet, we have started immediately to proceed with the different distance learning approaches, with a YouTube channel that covers all the religious material and religious lectures. But the problem with distance learning at the level of primary school, we know that children need visual learning. They need scientific learning, especially if we want to instill within them religious and Islamic values and Islamic teachings such as performing ritual evolution and so on. We were established. We were among the early founders of this Islamic school in Croatia. Then, after that, we focused on the teachers of religious subjects and imams. Then we transformed it into a science school or scientific school, where our graduates can enroll in any scientific college, including engineering and medicine and so on. Thank God, this is a blessing from Allah. Getting back to the same topic, how can we stimulate and encourage charitable entities to support those curricula and to provide the assistance for Islamic education? One of the most important elements when we seek such support, especially that we have 12 books and we need major funding, especially that we're in Croatia. The number of Muslims is 60,000 Muslims in Croatia. So it's 1.5% of the population. Yet the role of Muslims in Croatia is very well respected and respected by the government of Croatia, and we are completely engaged with the Croatian community. Other than that, what matters the most is that those establishments or those Islamic societies of the Islamic religion should be acknowledged in the country itself. If you're not acknowledged, all of these curricula turn into unofficial curricula. We need to have, as we have here in Croatia, the Islamic curricula is approved by the Ministry of Education in Croatia. We need to go out from the domain of societies and so on to teach at homes. We don't need to teach Islamic religion at home. We need to teach the Islamic religion at schools and at the centers. We also have an institute for teaching the Arabic language. So in our public schools, there are 2 hours a week dedicated to Islam or Islamic subjects. Other than that, we have 2 more hours to teach our students and our sons at the centers. The Arabic Language Institute, which is the first institute to be approved and acknowledged by the Ministry of Education in Croatia. Thank God, there are many things. Curricula are available in a digital format. We can update them. But as I told you, some curricula and some applications are insufficient for children because they are too comprehensive and cannot be summarized. We cannot summarize it properly for children. That's why education has to be face-to-face, particularly in primary school. May Almighty Allah grant us success. In terms of assessment, I don't approve of online education. There are many students who do not receive the proper assessment. Some people cheat, and this is something that does happen. Not all of them are angels, but some people cheat. So distance assessment in religious topics is also
دكتور خالد أنا أشكرك واعتبرتك من نيوزيلند ليس فقط من أستراليا.
Thank you very much. I consider you not just
فأهلا وسهلا ولكن نرجو أن ترسل لنا كل هذه المعلومات خطيا لأننا نحتاج للبيج داتا حتى نستطيع أن نقيم ونساعد ونفكر سويا ونحلل والله يقدم ما فيه الخير لنا ولكم. الآن ننتقل أشكرك الله يبارك فيك. الآن ننتقل إلى الأستاذ أحمد تايل مدير مركز أبي بكر الإسلامي في كولومبيا. أستاذ أحمد تايل أنت معنا أستاذ أحمد؟
Colombia, please.
الأستاذ أحمد تايل من كولومبيا.
Mr. Ahmed Tail from Colombia.
ننتقل للدكتور يوشار أوغلو دار الإفتاء من اليونان. الدكتور يوشار أوغلو أنت معنا دكتور يوشار أوغلو؟
نعم
تفضل دكتور يوشار أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بداية أقول وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. فهذه نعمة من الله سبحانه وتعالى أن اختارنا لحفظ دينه وعرض دينه وتقديمه على أحسن وجه كما أرادها الله سبحانه وتعالى. ومن نعمة الله عز وجل فنشكرهم على هذه كل ما يقدموه لنا وجميع الإخوة الذين هم الآن معنا ونحن
and all our colleagues. And we have been waiting for 2 hours, waiting for my turn, 2 hours to speak for 2 minutes. Thank you. You are most welcome. We benefit a lot from the discussion. Then I'd like to move on to the situation in Greece, as highlighted by most of our colleagues. Teaching the Islamic religion is divided into 2 categories. The first, which religious schools, Islamic religious schools in Greece, the Khalid school, which was established in the year 860 Hijrah or the 455 AD. It has evolved and developed. Now, religious topics subjects are being taught here in addition, or along with the other subjects that are being taught at other Greek schools. There are the Greek international schools, which, as highlighted by most speakers, we have 2 hours dedicated to teaching Islamic religion a week, and this is something that can be selected by the parents, and parents can select this topic for teaching or not. So, with regards to distance learning, actually, I would like to address my speech to the educators and to all of you. If you speak from the heart, people will listen to you with their hearts. And if they are just spoken verbally, people will barely listen to what you say. So we have to shoulder the responsibility. And we need our students, particularly in middle school and high school, because the younger students may not understand this. We need to let them feel that belonging to the Islamic religion and feeling that we are Muslims, and that this religion is a mercy, and all of it is mercy, and mercy to all mankind. Of course, as highlighted by most of our colleagues, the diminishing role of religious education at religious schools, and for many reasons that are not you, as said by Imam al-Ghazali, we have wanted knowledge and science to be for achieving gains other than the way of Allah, but even science and knowledge rejected that. So, if students feel that they belong to the Islamic religion, that they will select religious education and Islamic education, and if Almighty Allah granted them more than a single lifetime, every single time they would select the Islamic education. So, for education, there are a number of barriers. For the impact of COVID-19, even parents, most or some of them, do not believe and do not think and perceive of the possibility of education through distance learning. That is why we need to exert further efforts with parents and then engage and encourage students to approach and to adopt Islamic education. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Peace be with all of you.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. دكتور يشار أوغلو من دار الإفتاء في اليونان، كلمة قيمة وإنسايتس مهم. الآن ننتقل إلى الشيخ أمجد عرفات الأزهري، معهد الأزهر في أستراليا. الشيخ أمجد، أنت معنا؟ بارك الله فيك.
Are you with us? God bless you. Yes, God bless you.
تفضل.
Peace be with all of you.
وعليكم السلام.
First, once again, I would like to welcome all of you, and I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Ali Rashid Al-Naimi, the chairman of the World Muslim Communities Council. I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Al-Shari, the Secretary General of the World Muslim Communities Council. I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Salim Alwan Al-Husseini, the chairman of the Dar al-Fatwa in Australia. God willing, I'll be very brief, and I'll stay within the time frame. In the name of Almighty Allah, peace be to Almighty Allah, and peace be upon all the prophets and messengers of Almighty Allah. Almighty Allah says, O my servants, do your very best. Your deeds will be seen by Almighty Allah and His Prophet. In Australia, we have been working in the center to teach Islamic studies and teach Arabic for non-Arab speakers to meet the needs of the expatriate community in Australia, so they can implement the rulings of our Sharia without relying on the bad translations that have been widespread, and by receiving support, particularly from Bab al-Fatwa from Australia and His Excellency Dr. Salim Alwani and the other great scholars. And thanks to his very good relations and friendship with the great establishments globally, starting with Al-Azhar al-Sharif. We had the honor, along with a number of teachers, to study in Al-Azhar and then supervise the center here in Australia. This has been highly beneficial, thank God, to understanding and implementing the verses of the Holy Quran with all the mercy and kindness and honesty they come with in Australia by Australian Muslims. As in the wake of COVID-19, we had to face the new reality by resorting to distance learning. It was a challenge that required a great deal of efforts on our part to prepare the educational material and to assess students and to reassess them to enhance their performance. Therefore, we had to compile a team of specialists to live up to the challenges of this period. Despite all challenges and difficulties, we have learned many things, including flexibility of distance learning in terms of time and place, and stimulating, maybe able to obtain knowledge despite the different levels and their busy schedules and so on. If those aspects of knowledge have been reaching students in that particular way via distance learning, this does not nullify or undermine the traditional mode of teaching, especially if we talk about teaching someone how to recite the Holy Quran and pronounce it properly and pronounce the letters in the due manner and the due stress and the due pronunciation. This had to be by direct teaching, by face-to-face teaching, and verbal teaching. This is far more beneficial to implement what Allah said in the Holy Quran, to recite the Quran properly. We have benefited over the past months in a way that can enable us to add this as a new mode of teaching, to be added to the other ones we have been implementing before. In conclusion, I supplicate Almighty Allah to grant success and put an end to this ordeal. May Almighty Allah bring glad tidings and blessings to all of you. Thank you and peace be to all of you. Peace be to all of you and God bless you.
شيخ أمجد بارك الله فيك حبيب قلبي. الآن ننتقل إلى الأستاذ محمد شكري مستشار اتحاد مدارس الجودة للسلام بتايلاند. أنت معنا أستاذ محمد شكري.
Mr. Muhammad Shukri are with us.
الأستاذ محمد شكري من تايلاند.
Muhammad Shukri from Thailand.
Brother محمد شكري from
Yes, hold on please.
نعم تفضل بارك الله فيك. عندك العواصف والهواء خلفك ما شاء الله.
There's a storm behind you.
نعم تفضل.
Praise Almighty Allah. Praise be to Almighty Allah. Peace be upon Prophet Muhammad and skin and kith and companions. First and foremost, I'd like to express my appreciation to the World Muslim Community Council. And also I would like to thank the government of the United Arab Emirates. I would like to thank His Excellency Dr. Ali Rashid Naimi, Dr. Muhammad Bashari, Dr. Muhammad Bashari, the Secretary General of the World Muslim Community Council, for organizing this wonderful webinar. Thank God, we as Muslim minorities in Thailand, we are facing the COVID-19 pandemic anyway. God will studying here. Especially that we have schools and we have schools that are under the supervision of domestic education. By the 1st of July, God willing, next month, the first month, this will be the first month of the school year. Peace be with you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
نعم نعم نسمعك بوضوح.
Yes, yes, we hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. There are the challenges that have to do with the teaching of Islamic subjects in Islamic schools in Thailand. I will focus on the southern region of Thailand. We are closer to Malaysia. We have around 400 Islamic schools, 400 community Islamic schools. I want to tell you, all of you, and to the members of the Muslim Communities Council, that the schools we have are highly important for the government in terms of the curricula. The Islamic schools, we have two tracks for study. The first track is the religious track, where we have teaching and learning in the morning. As for the modern teaching and learning modern sciences, this is conducted in the afternoon. The challenges have to do with learning and teaching at schools. I want to tell you that there are the subjects themselves. We have limited subjects because there are some schools, some religious schools that we have, which have two different curriculum. The first is the Islamic Studies curricula. The Islamic Studies curriculum is composed of 6 religious subjects, which are the Holy Quran. That's the first subject. Secondly, Hadith. Third, Aqidah or Creed. The fourth one is the Fiqh or intellect, and the fifth is general ethical values, and another aspect that has to do with the Malayo people in the south. As for modern sciences, we have 8 subjects as well. We have math, sciences, social sciences, physical education,
أستاذ محمد
technology, and so on.
يداهمنا الوقت يعني
We're running out of time,
بارك
Mr. Muhammad.
الله
I'm sorry,
فيك
Mr.
تفضل
Muhammad. Please conclude your speech. Yes, I will conclude. The challenges have to do with COVID-19. The government put forward a number of conditions or preconditions for resuming school. The number of students at each classroom should not exceed 25 students per classroom. The problem is that we cannot have less than 25 students per class. We have at least 40 students. That's why we will reschedule the classes. It would be the first class, then the first grade and the third grade from Monday and Tuesday, and then the fourth to the sixth grade.
أشكرك أستاذ محمد بارك الله فيك وأسألك يعني لما تنتهون يعني إن شاء الله لما تنتهوا من عمل هذا الجدول أن ترسلوه إلينا وسنراسل الجميع نريد الكلمات بالتفصيل الممل أن ترسل إلى The World Muslims Communities Council المجلس العالمي للمجتمعات المسلمة لأنه هناك تفصيل كما يبدو ونعود إليكم إن شاء الله. الآن أرجع.
I have many information.
نعم ونريد كل هذه المعلومات. تفضل وأرسلها لنا. نعود الآن إلى الأستاذ أحمد تايل مدير مركز أبي بكر الإسلامي في كولومبيا. أستاذ أحمد تايل أنت معنا من
كولومبيا.
أستاذ أحمد.
Yes. Peace be with you.
وعليكم السلام. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. Me entiende en español. Puedo hablar español contigo. Pero no ahora. تفضل.
إن شاء الله. We'll talk in Spanish later on.
إن شاء الله we will. تفضل 3 دقائق يا.
You have 3 minutes. Maybe I'll even less than that. I would like to thank you very much for this. You have conducted this, and I'd like to thank you very much for this. I would like to seize this opportunity. God bless all of you and peace be with all of you. I'd like to thank my colleague who was with us in the dialogue conference in the Vatican, in the dialogue team. May Almighty Allah protect the UAE and all Islamic countries and all countries of the world. Muslims and non-Muslims are brothers and sisters, according to the hadith by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in which he says, I bear witness that all humans are brothers and sisters. So all people and all humans are brothers and sisters. In brief, and as per the topic that I want to discuss, there are some downsides to religious education here. There are some downsides because teaching in face-to-face or presential in the English language, there are some benefits in this regard because students are very important in this regard, and they need to acquire a large number of skills because we need to switch in the different aspects, or actually we need to pay attention to this scope by developing students' character and instilling important values through face-to-face education. Definitely, a second point is that face-to-face education has different advantages because during the break between the two classes, you have time to play. There's the retrospective counseling theory, which highlights, which means that playing with your fellow colleagues and your schoolmates, this really instills the values and instills the information that you have really learned before the break between the classes. So you cannot achieve something of that sort and cannot be obtained without having such a break. And I have my children, for example, and this is not a face-to-face education. This is university education, and there's distance learning. And distance learning, sometimes my son leaves the online class and go to grab a sandwich and so on. Nobody can see him. This is one of the downsides of distance learning. Moreover, as pointed here, this is this is a joke. This is fun. Maybe this is fine, but it has resolved many challenges in many subjects, but not in all subjects. You may attend many lectures online with things that have to do with humanities or lessons that have to do with humanities, but there are some practical subjects in advanced stages you cannot understand them properly online. If you do not see and touch, ask the teacher or the professor directly, you will not receive the same quality of education the same way you learn them face-to-face and not online. Thank you very much, and God bless you. May Almighty Allah protect the United Arab Emirates and the people of the UAE and all those who love the UAE and all Muslim countries.
أستاذ أحمد طيب، نشكرك على هذه المداخلة المهمة والدقيقة. الآن أنتقل معكم مباشرة إخوتي الأعزاء إلى الدكتور فارد جاراييف، المدرسة الإسلامية بالإدارة الدينية لمسلمي روسيا. الدكتور جاراييف، أنت معنا دكتور جاراييف؟
إن شاء الله معكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام. 3 دقائق، تفضل.
يعني في البداية طبعا أشكر كل المنظمين والمشاركين ومن بالنيابة عن مسلمي روسيا إن شاء الله لإتاحة هذه الفرصة الجميلة للمشاركة والتحدث أيضا في هذا المؤتمر. وكما قلنا يعني جائحة كورونا يعني فتحت الأبواب وفتحت الفرص جديدة للمسلمين، ولذلك أولا مثل أيضا فرصة لتنظيم مثل هذه المؤتمرات والدورات بين القيادة والأساتذة والمعلمين في مختلف المؤسسات التعليمية الإسلامية من مختلف البلاد. ومع الأسف قبل كورونا ما استطعنا أن نلتقي ونناقش ونتبادل الخبرات والمشاركة في إنجازاتنا. والآن الحمد لله هذه فرصة جميلة، ولذلك أشكر مرة ثانية المنظمين والمشاركين.
For that, I would like all the organizers, schools in Russia, and for that, we are facing great problem. Schools are divided to two types. First one, they prepare imams for mosques, and another type were small and also adults, they are learning at their schools, where a group of men, they study together and women study together, where they learn together how to pray, how to pay zakah, and also how to study the Islamic rituals.
وفي برنامج طبعا يتعلمون المواد الإسلامية ويتعلمون
and for that how to study one day a week. And they become good and they work in imams as imams in mosques. I want to focus in two problems.
ومشكلة تنظيمية كما نقول يعني تبدأ القضايا التنظيمية بإيجاد.
So the problem start how to bring students at the school and finish in financing with the curriculum problems. And also how to differentiate between the traditional learning and also the modern learning. Because that also involves assessment and how to prevent plagiarism. Here we needed to adapt our teaching methodologies, and with that we managed to fulfill the academic year. Here I would like to suggest forming a committee to prepare e-books that can be taught in the different Islamic institutions to benefit from that, and also to organize a continuous events to exchange experience, like once a month or once every 2 months. I would like to thank you, Doctor, for that. Thank you, Dr. Garayev. And I ask you, please, that's exactly what we want in order to include it in our recommendation and to discuss it within our conclusions that include different experts who will meet together and they take decision with you, with the experience you have. So please, can you please include all these details, you and all the participants, and send it to the council to be reviewed and contact you to cooperate, to form these platforms and to reach our target. I ask everybody, the 3 minutes Please remember the 3 minutes rule, and also mute your microphone if you are not speaking. Now, Mrs. Mona Atiya from Panama. Mrs. Mona Atiya, are you with us? Miss Mona?
طيب ننتقل إلى الأستاذ.
Now we move to Mr. Muhammad Nazim from Fiji.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Muhammad Nazim.
I begin with the most merciful salutation.
أستاذ محمد نظيم الإنترنت عندك ضعيف جدا. The internet is very.
Mr. Muhammad Nazim, the internet is very weak.
Mr. Nazim, I don't know if the other brothers can hear you, but I can't hear you at all.
This conference at a time when it is much needed by individuals and institutions, so clear pathways are created in the advancement of Islamic education in all societies of the world. It is my honor to show immense appreciation to His Excellency Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan for his patronage to such a great occasion. I would also like to extend appreciation to His eminent Dr. Salim Al with Islamic for always thought this was the only way children could good Islamic education. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, education through distance learning. Adapting to distance learning, education in Muslim societies will be a great challenge as people hold high value for face-to-face education in Islamic education. The Fijian Islamic schools are governed by a charitable or religious organization with great contribution from the civil society. These organizations and societies play a vital role in the planning and implementation of Islamic curriculum on the Muslim schools, and therefore they need motivation and empowerment. To successfully implement new options, the World Muslim Communities Council has to play a major role by conducting discussion with the concerned organization and societies around the globe. This will surely empower the organization and help them to work toward the goal of achieving instance platform. Secondly, as these organizations tend to understand new additional platform, whether consultations, information, and virtual meetings, knowledge, complete care package, equipment, be read organizations managing Muslim schools, which will boost their confidence relating to the new platform. This may be possible through cooperation with the recognized institution and the World Muslim Organization. TWMC is the only hope for such comprehensive development. Furthermore, every institution will need a lot of adjustments to the existing buildings, e-learning facilities, student resources, and expertise. This will be necessary to migrate to distance learning, and therefore financial assistance is extremely important for successful implementation and sustainability of the new learning platform. Moreover, continuous teacher training, monitoring, student recognition, and evaluation should be an integral part of the package. Finally, the organization will always need support while implementing the project, and therefore TWMCC should appoint a specific institute to oversee the certain staff institution in neighboring countries. Darul Fatwa, Australia, is highly recommended to oversee the Pacific. In conclusion, a greater collaboration amongst world Muslim leaders and institutions will surely be inspiration for organizations and Muslim societies in non-Muslim countries. With this new hope, a better and advanced education platform could be created. Our suggestions will surely be a source of motivation for endowments, charitable and civil societies for the advancement of Islamic education in Muslim school for Corona era. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brother Nazim. Can I just say that sometimes the voice was clear, sometimes it wasn't, and that's why we need a copy of your word so that everyone can get a chance to see it. Again, inshallah, I will post it as well. But for those of you who heard, it's good. For those who couldn't hear, inshallah ta'ala, you will all get التفصيل المفيد. نصحنا البعض أن نستعمل كلمة المفيد. التفصيل المفيد إن شاء الله في كل ما تكتبونه وترسلونه.
For high rates for teaching, and here the center is cannot afford to pay the monthly salary they ask for. So the students, they prefer to have free education. Why? Because we started in 1994 and we provided that through the ambassadors, like Arabic merchants. Till now, it's very difficult to have continuity through a curriculum. 5 or 10, they register their names, and after 1 or 2 weeks, we find different faces. So different problems. Regarding Arabic language, they have problems. Especially about the articulation of letters. And we need to explain to them scientifically how to pronunciate and how to do it in a proper way, especially the vocal letters. We haven't got ha, ha, ha. Different letters doesn't exist in Spanish. For that, it's difficult for Mexicans. Education, and we start to do attempts, but these try. It's not successful because we haven't got a program. We haven't got commitment from the teachers or even the students. Frankly speaking, I need So the infrastructure is missing here, correct? And it's not helpful for the production that you would like to see. Because of time, unfortunately, your internet connection also is bad. Can you please send all your speech in details so we can review it and continue with the other colleagues? I would like to thank you very much for your valuable speech. Now, we move to Mr. Qasim, the head of Islamic culture in Venezuela. Mr. Qasim, are you with us in Venezuela? The head of the Islamic Cultural Center in Venezuela, Mr. Qasim. Okay, then we move to Mr. Faris, the head of Ibn Sina School in Brazil. Mr. Faris, is he with us? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are welcome. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and all the blessings on Prophet Muhammad. And with all the blessings, thank you very much for this chance for me to talk. I would like here to speak about Brazil and how we deal about Corona in 3 minutes. Brazil is a very huge country, more than 4,000 kilometers from north to south, and more than 4,000 kilometers from north to west. There's more than 5,000 cities in Brazil. From these cities, we have only 4 schools in Brazil curriculum, and we teach Islam and we teach Arabic. We have also offices to teach Quran and to teach the Islamic rituals. And thank Allah for that. Because of Corona now, at the start of March, all this changed to be online. As you know, we are facing many challenges because in Portuguese language, few curricula is suitable to teach Islamic studies, especially for children. So the biggest difficulty here is because the lack of curricula, integrated curricula. Alhamdulillah, we have Arabic curriculum, and we benefit from the English in order to have benefit for everybody. Families who can't afford to have internet at home or even attend the school online, they go to their neighbors in order to attend with other students because they have internet. So we are doing our best to use Zoom, Google Meet, WhatsApp, or even call directly with parents and children to monitor them and motivate them to study. We found that studies and lessons through Zooms, when they see each other on Zoom, is attractive for them. At the beginning, 3 months ago, when Corona started, the lessons was on WhatsApp, and we used Zoom. So the participation was very weak. But when they used Zoom on the screen, that was very attractive for them to go and see each other and participate and interact. Here the teachers and trainers, we have the role to motivate, attract the families to the different new methodologies to study at home and to participate. Because the time at school, when the schools were open, it was from 8 till 6 p.m. But now in Corona, we have only 40 minutes. So time is not enough. Thank you very much, Doctor. By the way, time is running. Can you please try to finish your speech? We benefit from all the discussion that's happening and hope we will cooperate in the future. We need to have reference for the curriculum, online curriculum, so we can benefit from it. Especially in Brazil, more than 5,000 cities and only 6 schools and offices in 11 of them. Can you imagine? And that's exactly what the chairman's working at, Dr. Ali. His Excellency Dr. Ali Al-Naimi, working on that. And Mr. Muhammad Al-Bishari, they are working on that. So can you please send the data in order to build on it and try to fulfill the target? Thank you very much for your effort. Thank you very much also for your participation. Now, Mr. Muhammad Mahshoum from Chile, now South America. Mr. Muhammad Mahshoum, the director of Islamic College, and Mr. Nuruddin Ayoub, he is a teacher in Mozambique. Mr. Nuruddin, are you with us? Or Mr. Muhammad Tahshoun, either one of them? Unfortunately, it seems that they are not with us. As Mr. Samir asks, the director of Islamic Center in Zanzibar, he asks for a participation. Mr. Samir, you can go ahead, but please, very fast. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I would like to thank you very much. And also, I would like to thank all our colleagues who participated. We benefited from that. We in Zanzibar, we wanted to give you a glimpse about the challenges we are facing during Corona, especially in the Islamic institutions and schools. It's different from a country to another. There are solutions that some colleagues put it on the table, but unfortunately, maybe it's not suitable on here. In Tanzania or North Africa, it's a poor country, very poor countries. We did our best to use social media, but unfortunately, we haven't benefited from that. The ministries also failed to cover the community because the internet and the culture of internet or even using social media doesn't exist here. So, thank God, here in Tanzania, for the last 3 months, and from in 29th of June, we will open all the institutions and universities. And as an Islamic institution, we will open our center in the same day, the day after tomorrow. We had impact in the last week, so we closed the institution. And that happened during the holiday. So for the last month, we tried to include more lessons in order to cover the curriculum. And hopefully we will manage to do that. We face another problem